I'm the head coach of PRI, Rick Gailey, here along with our prep recruiting insider himself, the guru, Rene Nato. And Rene, you've been doing this for some time, 5 years in total. This is my third year with you. But now we get to look back at some of the classes. They're finishing up their college eligibility, and many of them moving on to the next level. And we have a couple of lists from the class of 2013 and 2014.
Yeah, some of these guys were on the show with us, and some guys were on the list that we came up with that we presented to you, the audience.
So let's start with the class of 2013, Tim Williams of University Lab.
Tim Williams was the #1 player in the state in 2013. Very powerful. He squats 555. Career 21 sacks for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Had a breakout year this year, Rick. 53 tackles and 9 sacks. He's a first-round grade right now, 6'4", 252, out of University Lab.
And #2 on your list, Rene, was Davious White. Turned out to be a pretty good player from Green Oaks at LSU.
#2 in the state in 2013. He's a late first, early second-round pick, 4'5", cornerback. He returns punts, very, very good at that. 47 starts for the Tigers, 167 tackles and 6 picks. He can blanket a receiver, very instinctive. He's a lockdown cornerback. He should be a good one on the next level.
Hey, maybe the Saints will draft an LSU player one of these days. #3 on the list, Kendell Beckwith from East Feliciana.
He was a 24 player in the state in 2013. He's a 3rd or 4th round draft pick, 263 tackles for the Tigers, 24 and a half tackles for loss. He missed 2 games in 2016, but still had 91 stops. He's a 3-year starter. He liked Alabama, Rick, coming out of East Feliciana, but it was an LSU-Alabama battle. LSU won. He's a downhill tackler. Never played linebacker before he got to LSU. I think he's done a pretty good job.
Yes, indeed he has. At cornerback or safety from Sumner is the next young man on the list, Jeremy Cutrer.
6'2", 170. He was the 15th rated recruit in 2013. He'll be a 5th or 6th round player. Past 3 years, 132 tackles, 7 interceptions, and 32 passes broken up, so he's got great timing. He signed with LSU in 2013, but attended Mississippi Coast College. He wound up at Middle Tennessee. He loves contact, not a big guy, but he's a tremendous hard worker. He should be a very, very good add for some NFL team.
And then a young man who has shown tremendous improvement in the last year, Duke Riley from John Curtis and LSU.
So proud of Duke's 3rd or 4th round draft pick. You'll hear his name. He's added 25, 30 pounds since he left John Curtis. He was a 13th recruit in the metro area. He looked really hard at Ole Miss, Tulane, and Mississippi State. LSU offered him a gray shirt. When they pulled it off, it was a slam dunk. He led LSU in stops this year with 93 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, and 1 interception. He's the 8th leading tackler in the SEC this past year. Great range, good open field tackler. He'll be playing in the Senior Bowl this Saturday.
Becoming the prototypical weak side linebacker. Next on the list, one of Rene's absolute favorites from that class, wide receiver, Carlos Henderson of McDonogh 35.
Yeah, I do love this guy. 3rd or 4th round pick, 4.4 speed in the 40, 5'11", 185. He had 82 catches this year for 1,535 yards and 19 touchdowns. For his career at Louisiana Tech, 147 grabs, 28-78 in yards and 28 scores. He had 3 kick returns for touchdowns this year as well. He looked hard at Utah, Louisiana Tech, ULL, Memphis, Arizona State, and Illinois. He settled on Louisiana Tech. He is a big play receiver, Rick, and a dangerous kick returner. He's worked very hard and polished his skills.
And the last young man from the class of 2013, an underappreciated player, I think, Rene, in high school, and perhaps now as well, Cethan Carter from Rummel.
And he was voted 2016 team captain at Nebraska. He will be a 7th round pick this year. At Rummel, he was 14-0, state title in 2012, H-back, super blocker, good hands. He played basketball for the Raiders. While with the Cornhuskers, 59 catches, 744 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He played as a true freshman. His choices out of Rummel were LSU, ULL, Southern Miss, Tulane, and Nebraska stepped up, and he felt that was the best fit for him.
Now let's take a look at the 2014 recruiting class. This guy's a pretty good player, was a pretty good recruit coming out of St. Augustine, Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, he was on the show quite a bit, and it was an Alabama LSU kind of tug of war. USC, Texas, Florida, Notre Dame, and Florida State were also in the mix. He was the nation's #1 recruit in 2014. Wow, I tell you, it was amazing how quick his career went. 38, 60 in yards, 40 touchdowns, 41 catches, and 26 kick returns. He's going to be a first-round pick and should make someone the bell cow running back for their program.
Another young man coming out early after his 3rd year at LSU from John Curtis, Malachi Dupre.
Should be a 3rd-round pick. He was listed as the #2 wide receiver in the class of 2014. He looked hard at UCLA, Florida State, but he liked LSU all along. He led the Tigers this year with 41 catches for 593 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had a super performance in the Citrus Bowl with 139 yards. Right now, he's a great athlete. He's going to work on his receiving skills, but he should be a great prospect for the next 2-3 years in the NFL.
And next, as Malachi, we saw improving his catch radius. That was a big question coming into the bowl game. But talking about the next player from Texas A&M and Edna Carr, Speedy Noel.
Yeah, and Speedy, he is a guy who looked hard at Florida State, LSU, Alabama, Oregon, Michigan, Miami, Texas A&M, and Texas, and he wound up going with the Aggies. He had one game against Ole Miss as a freshman where he had 11 catches for 192 yards. His career with the Aggies, 88 catches, 1,134 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He has a 37-inch vertical, 23.5 long jump, and a 4.3 340. He's got great skills. He was #2 rated Metro player. He's a game changer, and as a late draft choice, he should make a team and be really, really good as a special team returner.
That is some of the great draft prospects from this area that we've had on PRI or on your list in the past. When you have somebody on the show, what I find, Rene, is that you become somewhat attached to them, and every time they achieve something, you celebrate along with them.
And as you said, a lot of these guys, Leonard, Malachi, Speedy, we're on the show numerous times, and you got to pull from a little bit, and we used to joke a little bit off the air, and I'm so happy, but the process is going so quickly. That's when you see the guys we have on today that 3 or 4, 5 years, they'll be out of college and what they'll be doing with their lives. But it's an amazing process, and I'm so happy. All these guys have put in a lot of hard work and are reaping the benefits right now.
And their progress just starts when they get recruited and go to college. Look at Kendell Beckwith at Duke, Riley, the improvement they've made during their collegiate years. This is Prep Recruiting inside of PRI at Cellos. We'll be back after this.